Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Big Sloss Slop Station. Today's topic is definitely different from what I talked about yesterday, but it is another interesting topic to me. I've seen multiple videos on my own YouTube feed or social media feed about Gen Z dating advice and how a lot of people don't want to date or marry or all that other stuff involving relationships. And I wanted to throw my own 2 cents, not 10 cents, 2 cents in because why not? I am part of Gen Z and I'm lucky enough to have an amazing girlfriend. So when I hear about how our generation is struggling to find people, I definitely view it close to my heart since this is my generation. This issue is also close to my heart because my girlfriend is a wonderful partner and my life is infinitely improved because of her. I want other people to share that same joy that I have. So I would like to share my positive mindset in hopes that it might help people who see the future as bleak and uncaring. First thing first, there are a lot of variables as to why Gen Z do not want to date or marry right now. Money is a big topic because when it comes to finances, we are all struggling right now. Every single one of us, all of us. The highly competitive dating market is the second topic, mainly concerning online dating, apps like Tinder and that kind of stuff. And then the third topic, which is what I'm covering in this video, is Gen Z dating gurus and influencers. For the men, it is the red pill crowd, and the women, it's like the female dating strategies. But both of these personalities and dating gurus do not help people find love. Instead, it paints this bleak picture of the opposite sex as evil, villains, to support the bias of whoever the dating guru is trying to appeal to. For the red pill, they paint women as selfish, stupid, and money-hungry people that will cheat on you as soon as they think you're not masculine enough. They prey on these insecurities of men to make money and gain popularity. The women's side portrays men as broke bums and losers. This side says that if a man does not bend to your every need, then you should leave him, popularizing quotes like he needs to make 6 figures a year, or if the first date is a coffee date, then ghost him. This side is all about pursuing a man that is going to take care of you while you provide nothing in return. Now, as a man, I will acknowledge my ignorance and bias on the women's side of dating advice. I will cover this one before the red pill stuff because as a man, again, I am ignorant to what is going on in women's online spaces, so I only have a surface level of understanding of what this side is talking about. I'm a man, as I've said 3 times now, so when it comes to dating advice that I see on my own page, the bad advice that is recommended to me on mobile platforms is directed at men and not women, obviously. However, the little advice that I have seen, as previously stated, is focused on how women can take advantage of a man financially. How can she get as much money out of him as possible? This has led to a lot of women having skewed perceptions on how much money a man should make. This has also led to a lot of male content creators who make content such as this.
So how much money should a guy make per year?
Probably like 800K.
Yeah, I agree. Like
100K?
Yeah.
That sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah. 700K. I think I agree with her here.
Where do you think they're gonna work?
Maybe like a restaurant.
You think you can make out 800K working at a restaurant?
And you work hard enough.
Yeah. Be
So
around
you
there.
won't date a guy that makes less than 800K?
No.
Now, these male content creators have a different issue that I'll talk about later. But you can see a lot of young Gen Z women have unreasonable expectations on how successful a man should be before being in a relationship. Let me just tell you, for someone to make $100,000, because that tends to be the big number, is the top 18% of the United States population. So let's just say if everyone tries to shoot for the top 18%, someone's not going to make it. What this means, though, is that if a man doesn't fit their perfect standard of an ideal man, then they will avoid or reject pretty much all of the men around them. Obviously, that is their choice as women, and they have every right to do so, but eventually they are going to run out of options, and it is going to lead to a life of loneliness for these women who take this bad advice. And that's not something I would wish on anybody. That's kind of the main topic for this video. If we struggle so hard right now to take care of each other or to see the good in one another, it means we could have a very separate and lonely future on the horizon. On YouTube and social media platforms, there are a lot of videos of people talking about their experiences being alone in their early adulthood life, and we have to come together to avoid that becoming our future. We will circle back to this topic at the end, but now it's time to talk about the men's side of bad dating advice. This drawing right here is the dichotomy of bad dating advice. One side is male, one side is female. It has a mouth in the middle with sharp and pointy teeth because it is ready to devour anyone who takes its really bad advice. Anyways, on to the red pill stuff. So, most of us have heard about the red pill. It's a reference to the Matrix movies, and that if you take the red pill, you fall down the rabbit hole, see the world for what it truly is, blah, 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 you know the drill. These men normally have podcasts and bring women onto the show to ask them questions about relationships. So, that should be a pretty productive conversation, right? Unfortunately, these conversations are never productive, mainly because these men intentionally bring on women who tend to be OF models, e-girls, and ask them about relationships. Now, I'm not going to drag these OF models for their profession. It is similar to the oldest profession in the world, after all. But with that being said, they're also not the best people to talk about relationships. Many corn stars struggle with relationships because of their profession, and many of these young women fall into that same issue as well. Think about it. You're asking an OF model about relationships. Would you ask a drug dealer which medication is going to make you feel better? No. Even though they might have some things that could make you feel better, they're not going to know what a doctor is going to know. Another reason, because they are young women and haven't lived a lot of life, they suffer from these similar unrealistic expectations from the videos we showed before. How much men should make and what men should act like in a relationship with them. So, if I just spent all this time talking about the women on this Red Pill podcast, why is it the men's fault? Well, consider it poor sampling. Sampling is a term in statistics that talk about gathering a small group of a certain demographic to learn something and then apply what we learn to the said demographic as a whole. By purposefully choosing OF models and e-girls to talk about relationships when they don't have a lot of valuable lessons about relationships or they don't have a lot of valuable experience, then you are creating a bad implication that says all women are like this, when you are specifically looking at bad examples of women in relationships. Remember how I said we'd talk about these guys later doing these questionnaires in public? They do the same thing as the Red Pill podcasters. Now, most of these street interviews are actually scripted content to rage bait people into reacting, but even the authentic reactions are filtered before posting. These people probably go around to other young women and ask the same question and got more reasonable answers. But why would you post the normal answers that don't get as much online attention? Another reason why red pill advice is bad advice is that most of the people running these shows do not live by the behaviors they say young men should follow. Let me say that again because I think that's important. They do not live by the advice that they preach. The prime example is that a lot of them will tell you don't go for women like this in regards to the women that show up on their show, which, as we previously discussed, OF models, e-girls, and that demographic as a whole. But then these same men will pretty much date exclusively those types of women. Sometimes these men get played, and it's kind of funny. And some of these male podcasters are even on sugar daddy websites trying to pay for the affection of the e-girls and OF models online. Now, you may have noticed I'm being very vague here. I'm not saying specific red pill podcasters or red pill men, and the reason why is because I'm trying to avoid any false copyright strikes or false claims of harassment. Just know the acronym for the main red pill podcast I'm talking about is F and F. But what I'm also talking about applies to a lot of other red pill content creators as well. Another reason they are not to be trusted is they play off the insecurities of young men to get money from them. I cannot begin to tell you how many alpha male boot camps I've seen or how many alpha male dating courses these guys have to help people get girls. These camps and courses are always extremely expensive for absolutely no reason, and they take place in the backyard of your local Walmart. And it's ranging from hundreds to thousands of dollars. And the advice you get is the lamest advice to man, like, just be tough, or something cringe like that. If you are a man and you're watching this video and you want to know the 3 simple steps to getting a girlfriend, this is my advice to you. Get your money up, get your funny up, and get your fitness up. No double texting. I guess that's technically a 4th rule. And it's literally that simple. So to round up what we talked about and why you shouldn't trust, red pill dating coaches or gurus and all that stuff. 1, they use bad examples of young women and apply it to women as a whole in relationships. 2, they do not follow their own advice and live completely differently than what they teach. And number 3, these men use your insecurities against you to get your money and become wealthy as a result. Now, here's where I try to take this mess of a video and spin it into something positive. It seems like Gen Z dating is a mess, and we have record numbers of loneliness and depression, partially as a result of that, but also a lot of other socio-political stuff going on. But why? Well, the reason is probably whatever you're watching this video on. At least 99% of you are watching this video on your mobile phones. These devices can be a blessing and a curse. It all depends on what type of content you watch and what you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with countless hours of content saying women are trash and will always cheat on you, or men are trash and will always cheat on you, then it will change how you treat men and women in your everyday life. But if you can distance yourself from these negative online spaces, it can free you from these negative ways of thinking. Here's the truth. All the short clips today that we saw and that we talked about are a small percentage of the people in the real world. It is a vocal minority. Not all men are like this, and not all women are like this either. So, go out there, talk to people, socialize. Trust me, as an introvert, I get it. It's not fun, but it can help improve your life in the long term. Find out if they're a good fit for you, and don't listen to what these Gen Z dating gurus are telling you, because they only want to capitalize on your insecurities to make money. This doodle here is kind of an example of being sucked into the negative spaces on your phone. His flesh is melting into his bed, and his sheets are stained because he has never had anyone over, so his hygiene is starting to fall. Funny enough, this character looks similar to me, because I think when I was in high school, I could have easily fallen into this red pill trap, and I'm so glad that I didn't. So, very different video yet again, but I'll be picking up on the Doom 2 videos tomorrow. I will see you guys again later, and stay safe out there. Bye-bye.